Good afternoon, church. In our story today, we start with Jacob and his 12 sons. Joseph was born to Jacob at an old age through his beloved wife, Rachel. Hence, Jacob had a very special place for Joseph in his heart and loved him more than any of his other children.
Joseph, my dear, come here.
Yes, Father.
I made a robe for you. It's of the finest materials and the colors suit you well.
Father, this is so good. Thank you. I love it.
I'm delighted to see it suits you well.
The brothers hate Joseph and are jealous of him and can no longer talk peacefully to Joseph. Next morning,
Listen, my brothers. I have this dream I have to tell you about. We were all binding sheaves of grain in the field, and suddenly my sheaf rose and stood up, and your sheaves gathered around my sheaf of grain and bowed down to mine.
What a dream, Joseph. Are you again up to jokes? Do you intend to rule over us?
Joseph, why would you ever dream like that? That's ridiculous. Will you actually reign over us?
Trust me, it's true, but I was only sharing my dream. I dreamt something else too. I saw the sun and the moon and 11 stars bound down before me.
Joseph, what kind of dream is that? Are you saying that me, your mother, and all your brothers will bow down to you?
Father, that's what I dreamt.
because of all these incidents, the favoritism, the robe, the dreams, his brothers are consumed with jealousy and hatred, but his father ponders everything in his mind. Scene 2. Next morning, when Joseph's brothers have gone to Shechem to pasture the flock, Jacob sends Joseph to his brothers to check if everything is well with them. Joseph takes some supplies and sets out for Shechem. But upon arriving, he learned that his brothers had moved on to Dothan to continue grazing the flock. So Joseph went after them and found them at Dothan. The brothers are pasturing the flock when they see Joseph coming from afar.
Here comes the dreamer, and look at his colorful robe. Come now, let's kill him and throw him into one of the pits.
Yeah, let us say that a ferocious animal has killed him.
Listen, brothers, let's not harm him and have our blood in his hands. Let's throw him in the pit here, but do not harm him.
Hello, my brothers. Father sent me to check if everything is well with you and all the flock. Here's some food and water. You must be hungry.
Come here, you dreamer. You want us to bow down to you?
You want to reign over us? This will put an end to all your dreams. Let's see who comes to rescue.
The brothers thus cast him into the pit, plotting to kill him. But when they see some Ishmaelite traders passing by on their way to Egypt, on Judah's suggestion, the brothers agree to sell him to the Ishmaelites instead of taking his life. They sell him for 20 shekels of silver.
Where is Joseph? What should I say to my father? What should I do? I can't face him. I can't.
Are you crying for that dreamer? It's good that we got rid of him.
Let us tell Father that we found a bloodstained robe of his. Come on, let's go.
The brothers slaughtered an animal and dipped Joseph's robe in its blood and took the robe to Jacob.
Father, we have found this robe drenched in blood. Is this Joseph's coat?
This is Joseph. Where is he? What happened to him?
We searched for him everywhere but could not find him. We fear that some animal has killed him and torn him into pieces.
Joseph!
Meanwhile, Joseph is sold in Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, where the Lord is with Joseph, and he becomes a successful man. Potiphar makes Joseph in charge of everything because he finds favor in Potiphar's eyes. The Lord is with him, and he succeeds in everything that he undertakes. But Potiphar's wife tries to entice Joseph into a grave sin, which he refuses. Joseph flees, and Potiphar's wife falsely accuses him of wrongdoing, and he is sent to prison. But even there, the Lord is with him, and he finds favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison, who makes him in charge of all the prisoners. After some time, the Pharaoh's chief cupbearer and chief baker also happen to be in the prison for some offense committed against the Pharaoh. Joseph is appointed to be with them, and he attends to them. Scene 3. The chief cupbearer and the chief baker are seen to be sleeping in the prison. In the morning, when Joseph comes to them, he sees that they are troubled.
What happened? You seem very troubled today.
We have had dreams, and there's no one to interpret them.
Dreams come from God, and I believe that I may have the gift to interpret them. Tell me all about your dream.
In my dream, I saw a vine in front of me, and on that vine were 3 branches. As soon as it budded, it blossomed, and it clustered into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and they took the grapes, squeezed them into Pharaoh's cup, and put the cup in his hand.
This is what it means. The 3 branches are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will restore you to your position, and you shall put Pharaoh's cup in your hand, just as you did when you were his cupbearer.
Wonderful, wonderful, dear Joseph. May you be blessed.
When all goes well with you, do remember me and show me kindness. Please mention me to Pharaoh and get me out of this prison, for I'm innocent. I was forcibly carried out of the land of the Hebrews. Then later, I was falsely accused and then imprisoned.
Oh, dear Joseph, please interpret my dream too.
Sure.
On my head were 3 baskets of bread, and in the top basket were all kinds of baked goods for Pharaoh. But the birds were eating them out of the basket on my head.
Oh, I'm sorry to say that within 3 days, Pharaoh will hang you on a tree, and the birds shall eat your flesh up.
On the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, he gave a feast for all his servants. He restored the chief cupbearer to his position, but the chief baker was hung, just as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet the chief cupbearer forgot about Joseph.
Scene 4. 2 whole years have passed. One night, the Pharaoh had a very peculiar dream. And the following morning, he consulted his wise men for an interpretation. However, no one could interpret the dream.
Almost High King, we would have loved to explain your dreams to you. But it seems that our gods are unable to interpret them. Please forgive us.
Who is there that I could consult? This dream is very unusual and is pointing to something very serious. I am very concerned. And all of you and your gods are absolutely useless.
Your Majesty, if you permit me to speak,
Yes.
I know of a person who can interpret the dreams. Had it not been for him, I would still have been in prison. This is young Hebrew man who have been blessed by the gods with the power to interpret the dreams. I once had a dream and interpreted accurately. Your Highness must reach out to this man.
Bring the Hebrew to me right away. So you are the young man who has been blessed by the gods to interpret dreams. Do you think you could do better than the wise men and magicians of Egypt?
Your Highness, it is not in me. Dreams come from God, and He alone can disclose the meaning of your dream. I pray that the God I believe in will disclose the meaning of your dream.
Very well then, this is what I dreamt. I was standing in the banks of the Nile when 7 cows, plump and attractive, came up and out of the Nile. Then 7 other cows, poor, ugly, and such as I have never seen throughout all the land of Egypt, came up after them. The 7 ugly cows ate up the first 7 plump cows. And also in my dream were 7 ears, growing on one full stalk. Then 7 other ears, poor, thin, withered, and blown by the east wind, sprouted after them. The 7 withered ears swallowed up the first 7 good ears.
After hearing Pharaoh's dream, Joseph bowed his head and prayed for a moment.
Your Highness, both dreams mean the same thing. God is revealing to you what He's about to do in the land of Egypt. The 7 good cows and the 7 good ears indicates the 7 good years that Egypt will see. There be 7 years of plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. But after them there arise 7 years of famine, and all the plenty will be forgotten because the famine will be that severe. The reason this dream has been given to you is because this matter has been firmly confirmed by God, and it will soon come to pass.
Joseph, what must I do then?
Now therefore, let Pharaoh select a discerning and wise men, and set him over the land. Let Pharaoh appoint overseer of the land, and take 1/5 of the produce during the 7 years of plenty, and store them up in the storehouses, under the authority of the Pharaoh. This food shall be reserved for the people and animals during the 7 years of famine, so that the people may not perish.
Can we find a man like this in whom is the Spirit of God? It seems like there's no one as wise and discerning as you are, Joseph. Therefore, I appoint you over all the land of Egypt to do as you have suggested.
Thus, when Joseph was 30 years of age, he entered the service of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. He was second in command to Pharaoh, and all of Egypt obeyed Joseph. As Joseph had interpreted, there were 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of severe famine. During the 7 plentiful years, all excess grain was carefully gathered and stored in the storehouses in the cities surrounding the fields. And Joseph stored up grain in great abundance, until he ceased to measure it, for it could not be measured. When the 7 years of abundance came to an end, the 7 years of famine began. Now the famine was severe in all the lands, but the land of Egypt had food. When the famine became severe, Joseph opened his storehouses and dispensed food to the Egyptians. On hearing that Egypt had food, people from distant lands came to Egypt to buy food. Scene 5. The famine had severely affected all the land of Canaan, where Jacob and his sons lived. On hearing of the availability of food in Egypt, Jacob asked his sons to go down to Egypt and buy food so that they could make it through the famine. Except Benjamin, all the other sons, 10 of them, went to Egypt to buy grain. The brothers came and bowed down before the governor Joseph. Joseph saw his brothers and recognized them right away, but he treated them as strangers and was harsh to them.
Where have you people come from?
We have come from the land of Canaan.
I don't trust you. You're spies who have come to see our storehouses and steal from us.
No, my highness, we are not spies, but we are all brothers. But there is no food in Canaan, so we have come to Egypt to buy food.
I don't trust you. I think you're spies who have come to survey our land and steal our food.
No, Your Highness, we are not spies. We are 12 sons of a man called Jacob in Canaan. One of our brothers is no more, and the youngest one is with our father.
I don't trust you all, but I will give you all an opportunity to prove your case. If you are honest men, then let one of you stay in custody, while the rest of you can go and take the food. And when you come back, bring your youngest brother to me.
The brothers are greatly distressed, but agree to leave Simon behind in Egypt as they go back to Canaan to bring their youngest brother. The brothers reach home and tell Jacob everything that happened in Egypt and how they have to take Benjamin back to Egypt. Jacob does not allow them to take Benjamin, saying that he has already lost Joseph and now Simon, and he will not allow the same to happen to Benjamin. He preferred that he'd rather die than to let anything happen to Benjamin. The famine becomes more severe, and in a short time, all the food the brothers brought from Egypt gets over. Jacob asks his sons to go back to Egypt to get some food, but the brothers say that they would not go back to Egypt without their younger brother. With great sorrow, Jacob agrees to send Benjamin with them and makes him pledge to bring back Benjamin without any harm. Hence, the brothers, along with Benjamin, and taking some gifts and extra money from Jacob, go back to Egypt and come and present themselves before Joseph.
Is this your youngest brother?
Yes, my lord, this is our brother.
Come here. Is your father well and alive?
Yes, it's well alive.
Overcome with emotion, Joseph withdraws to the corner and weeps in private. The brothers talk to each other, confused about where Joseph is. Then Joseph returns quite composed.
Gods, leave this place. I am Joseph, your brother whom you sold into Egypt. Do not be afraid. What he intended for harm, God intended for good. God has made me Lord and ruler of all of Egypt. But I am your brother. I am Joseph.
Thus, Joseph forgives his brothers. Jacob's family reunites. Joseph brings his father Jacob and his household to Egypt, providing them land, flock, and food to live during the years of famine and beyond. We see that God's call, his plans, and purposes always stand. No efforts or attempts of man are able to limit or change God's sovereign purposes. God is good and faithful in everything he does, even when we do not understand the grand scheme of his wisdom. Thus, it becomes important that we as of God's people believe and trust in him wholeheartedly. Thank you.